The first time I realized I could destroy my family was during their 40th wedding anniversary planning dinner. I wasn't even supposed to be there. Mother had forgotten to include me on the group text, but Thea mentioned it during our weekly obligation call. My name is Jolie, and I'm what Southern aristocrats politely call the artistic one, when they really mean the failure. Darling, do try to wear something appropriate, Mother said, eyeing my black blazer and jeans as I walked into the private dining room at Le Méridien. This isn't one of your computer conventions. I smiled tightly and took my seat at the far end of the table, as far from the happy couple as possible. The waiter appeared instantly with champagne, which I grabbed like a lifeline. There's my little dreamer, Father's booming voice carried down the table. Still playing with your websites? Actually, I just landed a contract with Bentley closed the Richardson account today, Mother interrupted, beaming at my brother. 7 figures, wasn't it, dear? Bentley smirked. 8, actually, but who's counting? I sipped my champagne and watched the familiar dance unfold. Thea showing off her enormous diamond upgrade from her 3rd anniversary. Mother orchestrating the guest list like a military campaign. Father getting progressively louder with each scotch. We'll need to invite the Douglases, Mother said, tapping her iPad, even though their daughter, well, you know. Hope got promoted to head of cybersecurity at Goldman, I said sharply, but I'm sure that's not as impressive as Thea's tennis tournaments. Jolie, Thea sighed, must you always be so defensive? The evening dragged on, and I was considering a strategic bathroom escape when Gus Parker, our family's longtime lawyer, arrived fashionably late. Father's face lit up like Christmas morning. Gus, you old devil! Father wrapped him in a bear hug, scotch sloshing. Tell them about our little project, the one in the Caymans. Mother's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. Bryant, darling. Oh, relax, Morgan. It's just family. Father dragged Gus to the table. Show them how we're keeping the Sullivan fortune safe from Uncle Sam's greedy hands. I sat up straighter, my coding brain automatically shifting into debug mode. Father never discussed business details in front of me. I wasn't trustworthy enough to handle family matters. Perhaps we should discuss the menu. Mother tried again, but Father was too far gone. Offshore account, he stage whispered to Gus. Our own little backup plan. Genius stuff, really. Even that tech whiz of yours couldn't crack it, eh? He winked at me. I smiled back, sweet as southern honey. Probably not, Daddy. The conversation moved on to flower arrangements and seating charts, but my mind was racing. Years of dismissal, of being the family joke, of watching them parade their wealth while telling me I needed to get serious about my life. It all crystallized into perfect clarity. We'll need to review the trust disbursements, Gus mentioned casually to Mother. For the grandchildren's futures, of course. Of course, Mother nodded. We must protect the next generation. I thought about the coding competitions I'd won in high school, the ones they never attended, the startup I launched at 23 that they called my little hobby, the times they'd laughed off my suggestions about modernizing the family business's security systems. Jolie, dear, Mother called down the table, do try to bring someone suitable to the gala. We can't have you arriving alone again. Don't worry, Mother, I said, raising my glass. I promise the gala will be unforgettable. Later that night, in my apartment, I opened my laptop and cracked my knuckles. Father was right about one thing. I was playing with websites. But he'd never bothered to learn what else I could do with a keyboard and the right motivation. My phone buzzed, Hope checking in. How bad was it? She texted. I stared at the screen, thinking about offshore accounts and trust funds and decades of subtle humiliation. Actually, I typed back, it was inspiring. I opened a new terminal window and started typing. Sometimes the best revenge doesn't look like revenge at all. Sometimes it looks like a daughter finally proving her worth, by burning everything to the ground. The cursor blinked, waiting for my command. I thought about Father's drunken confession, about Mother's constant dismissals, about Bentley's smirk and Thea's sighs. Time to show them exactly what their family failure could do. "You're gonna get caught," Hope said, sliding a coffee across her kitchen counter to me. 3 days had passed since the anniversary dinner, and I'd barely slept. "Only if I'm sloppy." I pulled up the terminal window I'd been living in. "Look at this. Shell company registered in the Caymans, but the IP traces back to Gus's law firm." Hope leaned over my shoulder, her cybersecurity instincts kicking in. "That's actually pretty amateur of them. They're not even using a decent VPN. Old money thinks it's untouchable." I took a sip of coffee. "And Daddy Dearest can barely attach a file to an email. He wouldn't know proper security if it bit him." My phone buzzed. Another text from Mother about gala preparations. "Don't forget the dress fitting tomorrow, darling, 2 p.m. sharp, and please do something with your hair." I ignored it and dove back into the code. The shell company led to another, then another, a digital trail of breadcrumbs, each one making my blood boil a little hotter. "Holy shit," Hope whispered, pointing at my screen. "Is that what I think it is?" I nodded grimly. Transfer records, 5 million from the Grandchildren's Educational Trust to something called Blue Harbor Holdings last month. But Thea's kids aren't even in kindergarten yet. Exactly. I pulled up another window. "And look where Blue Harbor's money goes." Hope's eyes widened. "Your parents' personal account in Switzerland? That's straight up theft." My phone buzzed again. This time it was Bentley. "Mother says you're not responding about the dress fitting. Don't make this difficult, Joe. Some of us have real work to do." I texted back, "In a meeting, important client. Playing Minecraft doesn't count." I showed Hope the exchange. "See what I deal with?" "Okay, but Jolie," Hope sat down beside me. "This is serious. We're talking federal crimes, money laundering, tax evasion, theft from a trust. Are you sure you want to?" A notification popped up on my screen. Someone was accessing the Blue Harbor account right now. "Look alive," I muttered, fingers flying across the keyboard. "They're moving money again." We watched in real time as $2 million bounced between accounts, finally landing in something labeled Anniversary Celebration Fund. $2 million for a party? Hope whistled. "That's blood money," I finished, "and they're using my niece and nephew's future to pay for it." My phone rang. Mother again. I answered on speaker while continuing to type. "Jolie, darling, where are you? The dress fitting." "Can't today, Mother. Work emergency." "Oh, sweetheart." Her voice dripped with familiar condescension. "Is one of your little websites down again? Surely someone else can handle that." I watched another 500,000 disappear into the Swiss account. "Actually, I'm tracking some very interesting financial transactions." Dead silence on the line. Then, with forced brightness, "Well, do try to make time tomorrow. We can't have you looking inappropriate at the gala." She hung up. Hope and I exchanged looks. "She definitely heard something in your voice," Hope said. "Good." I pulled up a new program I'd been working on. "Because I'm done being invisible." "What are you doing now?" "Creating a backdoor into the Gala Planners system. They're doing some big multimedia presentation. Family photos, video messages, the works." I smiled grimly. Would be a shame if someone added some extra slides. "Jolie." Hope touched my arm. "I get it. God, do I get it. But this could blow back on you hard. Harder than being treated like garbage for 27 years? I showed her another transfer record. "Look, they did this the day after I won that coding championship in high school. The day Mother told me to get serious about my future. $500,000 straight to their vacation house fund." Hope was quiet for a long moment. Finally, she said, "What do you need from me? Help me build something they can't trace or stop. Something that will make every single guest at that gala see exactly who they really are." And after, when it all comes crashing down, I thought about years of snide comments, of being the family joke, of watching them steal from children while preaching about legacy. Then I'll finally be free. I started typing again, even if I have to burn everything down to do it. My phone buzzed one more time, a group text from Thea to the family. Just ordered the most amazing centerpieces for the gala. This will be a night no one ever forgets. I smiled at my screen. For once, sis, I muttered, you're absolutely right. The dress fitting was exactly as excruciating as I'd expected. Mother circled me like a shark, clicking her tongue at imaginary flaws, while the seamstress pinned and tucked. Perhaps we could add some padding, Mother suggested, to give you a more feminine silhouette. The dress is fine, I said through gritted teeth, checking my phone. A notification flashed, another suspicious transfer from Blue Harbor Holdings. Phones away, darling. This is important. Mother snatched it from my hand. Now, about your hair. The boutique door chimed, and Thea swept in with her perfect blonde waves and designer handbag. Mother, you won't believe what I just heard about the Douglases. I stiffened. What about them? Well, Thea perched delicately on a velvet chair. Apparently, Hope got passed over for that promotion she was bragging about. Something about ethical concerns? My hands clenched in the expensive fabric. That's interesting, considering she started as department head last week. Oh, Thea's smile turned brittle. Well, your source is wrong. I stepped off the platform, ignoring the seamstress's protests. Just like you were wrong about her dropping out of MIT. She graduated summa cum laude. Jolie, Mother warned, your sister is just trying to help. We worry about the company you keep. I grabbed my phone back. Worry about yourselves. Back home, I dove straight into my investigation. The offshore accounts were just the beginning. There were board resolutions with forged signatures, fake charitable foundations, even a shell company registered to our childhood dog. My phone buzzed with a text from Hope. You okay? Heard about the dress drama. News travels fast, I typed back. But look what I found. I sent her a screenshot of a document I'd uncovered, a trust dissolution form dated 15 years ago, with my signature on it. A signature I'd never made. Hope's response was immediate. That's forgery, straight up criminal. I was 12 when they supposedly had me sign this, I replied. Guess they needed my trust fund for something more important. Like what? I dug deeper into the transactions from that year. Found it. Down payment on Bentley's first Ferrari. My hands were shaking as I kept searching. Every new discovery was worse than the last. Family friends' investments disappeared into private accounts. Charitable donations meant for children's hospitals bought vacation homes. Everything I'd ever suspected about my family's moral bankruptcy was right there in black and white. The doorbell rang, startling me. Through the peephole, I saw Gus standing there, looking unusually nervous. Jolie, he called out, your mother asked me to drop off some gala paperwork. I opened the door but blocked the entrance. Did she? He held out a thick envelope. Just some liability waivers for the video presentation. Standard stuff. Like the standard trust dissolution form I supposedly signed at 12? His face went pale. I don't. Save it. I took the envelope. I'm sure it's all perfectly legal, just like Blue Harbor Holdings, right? Jolie, his voice dropped to a whisper, be very careful what you're implying. Some things are better left alone. Like fraud? Or just regular old theft? He stepped closer, dropping the avuncular act. Your parents have worked very hard to build this family's legacy. It would be a shame to see it destroyed by Misunderstandings. Funny, I smiled sweetly. That's exactly what I was thinking. After he left, I opened my laptop and started working on the gala presentation. Mother wanted a video celebrating 40 years of Sullivan family values. I'd give her one she'd never forget. My phone buzzed. A group text from Bentley. Final gala planning dinner tomorrow night. Mandatory attendance. Looking at you, Joe. Then a private text from Thea. Try not to embarrass us this time. Wear something that covers your tattoo. I touched the small binary code inked on my wrist, my first act of rebellion at 18. It spelled truth in computer language. How fitting. A new email notification popped up. Someone named Isaac had sent a message to Gus about concerning financial irregularities and mutual beneficial arrangements. Hope, I texted. I think someone else knows, and they're planning something. Does this change your plan? I thought about the forged signature, about my stolen trust fund, about years of being told I was never good enough while they robbed their own grandchildren's future. No, I replied. It just means I need to move faster. I pulled up the gala presentation file. In 2 weeks, 500 of Atlanta's finest would gather to celebrate my parents' marriage. They'd expect a touching tribute to family, love, and legacy. Instead, they'd get the truth. Every dirty dollar, every forged document, every stolen dream, all of it playing in high definition on a giant screen. I started coding, my tattoo catching the light from my laptop screen. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes it's meant to. The final planning dinner was a masterclass in tension. Mother had rented out the entire rooftop of the St. Regis because heaven forbid anyone witness a family discussion. The video tribute is coming along beautifully, the event planner gushed, showing mock-ups on her tablet. We've included all the milestone moments you requested. I picked at my salad, thinking about the real milestone moments hidden in my encrypted files, the millions disappearing from charity accounts, the forged documents, the evidence of decades of fraud. Jolie, Mother's sharp voice cut through my thoughts. The planner asked you a question. Sorry, what? Your contribution to the video? The planner smiled uncertainly. Any special moments you'd like to share? Oh, I have something prepared, I said. It's a surprise. Bentley snorted into his whiskey. Let me guess, a montage of you winning coding competitions? Actually, I met his eyes. It's about family legacy. Something you know all about, right? Like that Ferrari you got at 18? He froze mid-sip. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I smiled, just remembering old times. Father cleared his throat. Speaking of legacy, Gus and I have some exciting news. We're establishing a new charitable foundation. Another one. I couldn't help myself. Like the Children's Future Fund from 2018? Dead silence fell over the table. Mother's wine glass stopped halfway to her lips. I've been doing some research, I continued, for the video tribute. Found some fascinating old documents. Jolie, Gus said quietly, perhaps we should discuss this privately. Why? I pulled out my phone. I have the files right here. Want to see where that foundation's money really went? That's enough. Father's voice was steel. Bentley, take your sister home. She's clearly had too much to drink. I haven't touched my wine, I said, but Bentley was already grabbing my arm. In the elevator, he turned on me. What the hell are you doing? My job. I yanked my arm free. You know, the one you all joke about? Turns out I'm pretty good at finding things people want to hide. Listen to me very carefully. He stepped closer, using his height to loom over me. You're playing with things you don't understand. Back off. Or what? You'll buy another Ferrari with my trust fund? The elevator doors opened to the lobby. Bentley grabbed my wrist, right over my binary tattoo. Last warning, Joe. Don't ruin this gala. I smiled sweetly. Wouldn't dream of it. Back home, my phone exploded with messages. Mother demanding I apologize. Thea calling me dramatic. Hope asking if I was okay. But it was an email from Isaac that caught my attention. Ms. Sullivan, I believe we share some common interests regarding your family's financial activities. Perhaps we should meet. I forwarded it to Hope. The plot thickens. She called immediately. Don't meet him alone. Wasn't planning to. I pulled up his social media. But look at this. He's on several charity boards with my parents, and his company just lost a major bid to Bentley's division. Revenge by proxy? Or blackmail? I dug deeper into his background. He's nearly bankrupt. 3 failed businesses in 2 years. Perfect timing to squeeze your parents for cash, Hope said, using their own crimes against them. My laptop pinged. Another alert from the offshore accounts. A large sum had just moved into something called emergency contingency. They're getting nervous, I said, moving money around like crazy. Your dinner conversation probably spooked them. I thought about Bentley's threat, about Isaac's email, about all the pieces moving into place. Good, I said. Let them sweat. The gala's in 3 days. Are you sure about this? Hope asked. Once you push that button, I found something else, I cut her off. A recording from their security system. Want to hear Mother's reaction when I won that national coding championship? I played the clip. Well, that's nice, dear, but let's not mention it at the club. People might think you're one of those computer people. Jesus, Hope breathed. That was the day I decided to learn hacking, I said. Funny how things work out. My phone buzzed, a text from Mother. Darling, I've scheduled you for a hair appointment tomorrow, and please remember to smile in the family photos. Your father and I have worked so hard for this celebration. I looked at my laptop screen, at the evidence of exactly how they'd built their precious legacy. Don't worry, Mother, I muttered, typing the final lines of code that would trigger my presentation. I'll give you something to remember. The binary code on my wrist seemed to pulse. 3 days until truth became legacy. 3 days until I burned it all down. The day before the gala, I met Isaac at a crowded coffee shop downtown. He was exactly what I expected. Expensive suit, desperate eyes, fake smile. Thank you for meeting me, he said, sliding into the booth. I assume you know why I'm here. Enlighten me. I kept my laptop open between us like a shield. I have evidence of your family's creative accounting. He leaned forward, particularly regarding the Richardson deal. The one my brother closed last month, the one your brother stole from my company. His smile tightened. Using some very interesting financial maneuvers, I took a sip of coffee. And what do you want? 5 million, cash, or everything goes to the SEC tomorrow morning. That's funny, I said, turning my laptop around, because I have proof you knew about the offshore accounts 3 months ago. Been waiting for the perfect moment to blackmail my family? His face went pale. How did you? The same way I found this. I showed him an email chain between him and Gus. You tried to get in on their scheme first. They turned you down. Now you're bitter. Listen, you little... No, you listen. I kept my voice low and steady. In 24 hours, everything comes out anyway. But if you try to rush me, I'll make sure your failed blackmail attempt is front and center. He stood up so fast his chair scraped the floor. You're making a mistake. Actually, I'm finishing what you started, just not for profit. After he stormed out, I called Hope. Isaac's neutralized. But we need to move faster. Already on it. The gala's AV system is ours. No one can stop the presentation once it starts. My phone buzzed. Mother again. Final rehearsal in an hour. Don't be late. The ballroom was chaos when I arrived. Staff hanging crystals, florists arguing about centerpieces, Mother orchestrating everything like a general before battle. Jolie, finally! She grabbed my arm. We need to practice the family entrance. And what happened to your hair appointment? Had a meeting. More important than family? I looked at her perfectly coiffed hair, designer dress, manicured hands that had never done a day's real work. Always about appearances, isn't it? What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I pulled away. Where do you want me to stand? The rehearsal dragged on. Walk here, smile there, pretend we're the perfect family. I watched Bentley practice his speech about family values while thinking about stolen trust funds, saw Thea arrange her children for photos while their future was being drained away. The video tribute will play at exactly 9 p.m., the event planner announced, after the main course but before dessert. It's the emotional centerpiece of the evening. Speaking of, Father boomed, where's your contribution, Jolie? The planner says she hasn't received it. It's ready, I said, just some technical details to finish. Technical details? Mother frowned. It's just a simple video, darling. Don't overthink it. My phone buzzed, a text from Hope. Holy shit, just found something huge. Call me now. Excuse me, I said. Technical emergency. I heard Bentley's mocking laugh as I walked away. Probably another crashed website. In the hallway, Hope's voice was urgent. They're moving everything, all the accounts, all the money, right now. What? Why? Isaac must have spooked them. They're transferring millions into new accounts, trying to hide the trail before tomorrow. I ran to my car, opened my laptop. Sure enough, money was flowing like water between accounts, disappearing into new shells, new names. Can you track it? Hope asked. Already am. My fingers flew across the keyboard. But this changes things. We need to adjust the presentation. There's more, Hope said. I found emails between your father and Gus. They're planning to announce some huge new charitable foundation at the gala, using the stolen money. I thought about all those years of being dismissed, belittled, treated like a failure. Tomorrow they plan to stand up and lie to 500 people about their generosity, their legacy, their values. Jolie? Hope's voice softened. Are you sure about this? Once you do this, they're stealing from their own grandchildren, I said, using charity as a cover for fraud, living on stolen money while telling me I'm not good enough. I know, but no more buts. I started typing new code. Tomorrow at 9 p.m., everyone sees the truth, all of it. My phone lit up with a family text from Mother. Final reminder, tomorrow is about celebrating love, family, and legacy. Let's make it perfect. I looked at my binary tattoo, then at the evidence of their crimes flowing across my screen. Oh, it'll be perfect, I whispered. Just not the way you planned. The gala was everything Mother had dreamed of. Crystal chandeliers dripped from the ceiling, string quartets played in every corner, and Atlanta's elite circled like well-dressed sharks. You actually clean up nicely, Thea said, eyeing my black designer dress. Though a pop of color wouldn't kill you. Thanks. I checked my phone, 7:45 p.m., just over an hour until showtime. Jolie, Mother swooped in, champagne in hand. Senator Wilson's daughter is here, the investment banker. Do try to chat with her. Still trying to fix me up, Mother? Well, darling, you're not getting any younger, and your computer thing isn't exactly... My computer thing paid for this dress. She patted my cheek. Of course it did, dear. Oh, the Douglases are here. Try not to mention Hope's situation. I watched her glide away, the perfect society matron. My phone buzzed. Hope herself. Everything's set. Last chance to back out. No backing out, I typed back. You should see them all here, congratulating themselves. Father was holding court near the bar, telling his favorite story about building the business from nothing. I'd found the real story in his hidden files. The startup money came from defrauding his first business partner. There's my girl. He pulled me into a bourbon scented hug. Tell these fine folks about your little computer projects. Actually, I smiled at his audience. I just landed a major cybersecurity contract, protecting companies from fraud, hidden accounts, that sort of thing. Father's grip on my arm tightened, always with the jokes. Now, about that merger last year, I slipped away, checking the time again. 8:30 p.m. The presentation file was locked and loaded in the AV system. Hope had quadruple checked the backup triggers. Quite a party, a voice said behind me. Isaac stood there, drink in hand, looking smug. Shame about what's going to happen. Meaning? He leaned closer. I sent an anonymous tip to the SEC. They'll be here at 9. Perfect timing, I said. They can watch the show with everyone else. His smile faltered. What? You really think I didn't plan for this? The SEC, FBI, and 3 major newspapers are all getting copies of everything. But first, the family gets to see it. You're bluffing. Try me. Bentley appeared, slinging an arm around my shoulders. Making friends, Joe? Don't scare him off with computer talk. Just discussing family business, I said sweetly. Speaking of, Bentley's voice dropped. Father wants to know what's in your video tribute. The planner says she never got a preview. It's a surprise. Joe, his grip tightened. Don't embarrass us. Wouldn't dream of it. 8:50 p.m. Guests were finding their seats for dinner. Mother was glowing with triumph, accepting compliments on her perfect event. Thea was positioning her children for maximum adorability. My phone lit up. Hope again. SEC just pulled up outside. You ready? Born ready. The lights dimmed right on schedule. Mother clinked her glass, rising for a speech. Welcome, dear friends and family. Tonight we celebrate not just 40 years of marriage, but the legacy we've built together. I touched the binary code on my wrist, thinking of all the legacies about to be destroyed. And now, Mother gestured to the giant screen behind her, a special tribute to our journey, prepared by our loving family. 8:59 p.m. I caught Gus watching me nervously from his table, saw Isaac edging toward the door, noticed Bentley's suspicious glare. Technical difficulties, the planner whispered frantically to Mother. The file won't load. What? Mother's perfect smile cracked. But 9 p.m. exactly. The screen flickered to life. The first image appeared, a bank statement showing millions flowing from the children's trust into private accounts. Then another, forged documents with faked signatures, email chains discussing fraud schemes, offshore account details. Dead silence fell over the ballroom. Turn it off, Father roared, but every button, every plug, every system was locked under my encryption. Mother's champagne glass shattered on the floor. Thea's children started crying. Bentley lunged for the AV booth, but the operator just shrugged helplessly. And still the evidence played on, years of criminal activity parading across the screen in high definition. I stood up slowly, every eye in the room turning to me. Outside, red and blue lights started flashing through the windows. Mother, I said into the silence, I think your legacy just got an update. The doors burst open. Men in FBI jackets poured in, followed by SEC agents and what looked like half the Financial Crimes Division. Happy anniversary, I whispered, and took another sip of champagne. The show was just beginning. Chaos erupted in waves. First came the gasps and whispers as the evidence kept scrolling across the screen. Then the scramble as people realized federal agents were blocking the exits. Finally, the screaming started. This is your fault. Mother lunged at me, perfectly manicured nails reaching for my face. 2 FBI agents caught her arms. You ungrateful little Mrs. Sullivan, one agent cut in. Please remain calm. We have some questions about these offshore accounts. Father was already in handcuffs, his face purple with rage. I'll destroy you for this, he spat at me. You're no daughter of mine. Funny, I said. I was just thinking the same thing. Bentley tried to run, making it halfway to the kitchen before agents tackled him. Thea just sat there, mascara running, staring at the screen as proof of her children's stolen inheritance played on repeat. Miss Sullivan? A female agent approached me. We'll need your statement. I have everything documented. I pulled out a USB drive. Every transaction, every forged document, every email chain, plus the recordings of them moving money last night. Gus was being led out in handcuffs, already shouting for his lawyer. Isaac had somehow slipped away in the chaos, but with the evidence I'd planted on his devices, he wouldn't get far. You did this. Thea's voice was ice as she stood up. You destroyed our family. They destroyed it themselves. I just turned on the lights. My children's future was stolen by our parents, I finished. Check the trust accounts. Every penny they took is documented. The ballroom had become a crime scene. Agents photographed evidence, while shell-shocked guests were interviewed in corners. Mother's perfect centerpieces were knocked over, crystal glasses scattered like broken dreams. Jolie! Hope appeared at my side, badge displayed. My team's ready for the digital evidence. You're working with them? Thea shrieked. Both of you planned this? Actually, Hope said. I tried to talk her out of it, but then we found the Children's Trust Fund transfers. Thea collapsed back into her chair. I never knew. You never wanted to know, I corrected. None of you did. It was easier to mock my computer thing than ask questions about where the money came from. My phone started blowing up. News alerts, social media notifications, messages from shocked family friends. The story was already breaking across every major network. Prominent family accused of massive financial fraud. Society gala turns into federal raid. Whistleblower daughter exposes years of criminal activity. Mother was still screaming as they led her out. Everything I did was for this family, for our legacy. Your legacy, I called after her, is finally telling the truth. Bentley managed to break free from the agents holding him. He charged at me, face contorted with rage. You think you're so smart? You think this makes you better than us? Hope stepped between us, her cybersecurity team moving to intercept. Back off, trust fund boy. It's over. Miss Sullivan, another agent approached. We found additional accounts on the servers. Looks like they were moving assets offshore as recently as an hour ago. I know. I pulled up the tracking program on my phone. I've been following the money all night. Every transfer, every hiding spot. It's all documented. The giant screen was still playing, now showing footage from security cameras. Father bragging about tax evasion. Mother arranging fraudulent donations. Gus creating fake documents. Turn it off, Thea begged. Please. Can't, I said. The encryption key is time-locked. It'll play until every last secret is exposed. Outside, camera crews were arriving. The Perfect Society Gala had become breaking news, and tomorrow everyone would know exactly who the Sullivans really were. Was it worth it? Thea asked quietly. Destroying everything? I touched my binary code tattoo, thinking of all the years of lies and mockery, of stolen futures and fake legacies. Truth always is. Hope touched my arm. We need to get you out of here. The media's going crazy. As we headed for the back exit, I passed the head table, Mother's perfect place settings, the anniversary cake no one would eat, the champagne tower now evidence in a federal investigation. My phone buzzed one last time, a message from Isaac. You won, but don't think this is over. I smiled, thinking of the evidence I'd already sent to the FBI about his blackmail attempt. Actually, I typed back, it's exactly over. Outside, Hope's car was waiting. Behind us, the gala and my old life dissolved into a swirl of police lights and camera flashes. Ready? Hope asked. I looked back at the ballroom where my family's carefully constructed facade was crumbling in real time. Ready, I said. Let's go home. The morning sun hit my laptop screen as I finished the last line of code. My new cybersecurity firm's website was ready to launch. The headline read, Specializing in Financial Fraud Detection and Prevention. My phone buzzed, Hope calling. Turn on the news, she said. They're reading the verdicts. I switched tabs to the live stream. Father, mother, and Gus stood in court, faces ashen as the judge spoke. On all counts of financial fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion, this court finds the defendants guilty. My doorbell rang. Thea stood there, holding her daughter's hand. Can we come in? Her voice was different now, softer, without the society polish. Emma has questions about college funds. I let them in, watching my 5-year-old niece bounce toward my desk. Aunt Jolie, Mommy says you're good with computers and money. That's right. I pulled up a child's savings account website. Want to learn how to protect your future? The trustees recovered most of the stolen money, Thea said quietly. Thanks to your evidence trail, they're setting up new accounts, properly managed this time. On my screen, the judge was still speaking. Furthermore, the court orders full restitution to all affected charitable organizations and trust beneficiaries. Bentley took a plea deal, Thea continued. He's testifying against Isaac and the others involved in the Richardson fraud. Emma climbed onto my lap, fascinated by the colorful banking website. Can I have a password like yours, Aunt Jolie? Sure can. I showed her how to create one, thinking how different her future would be now, built on truth instead of lies. My phone buzzed with a text from Mother's prison account. The family name is ruined. I hope you're satisfied. Look, Mommy. Emma pointed at my binary tattoo. Can I get one that says truth too? Thea flinched, then surprised me by saying, maybe when you're older, it's important to stand up for what's right. The news switched to footage of federal agents raiding Isaac's office. His blackmail scheme had backfired spectacularly. He was facing even more charges than my parents. Your new company, Thea gestured at my laptop. Will you help other families stop things like this from happening? That's the plan. I pulled up my client list. 3 major firms have already hired me to audit their charitable foundations. Turns out exposing fraud makes you popular in compliance circles. Emma tugged my sleeve. Can I be like you when I grow up? Better, I said. You can be yourself. My phone lit up with another prison text, this time from Father. You've made your point. Now help us appeal. We're still family. I deleted it without responding. On my desk sat a framed article, Whistleblower Daughter Launches Anti-Fraud Foundation. Beside it was a photo of Hope and me at our new office opening. I filed for divorce, Thea said suddenly. Started taking accounting classes. I want to understand everything. The live stream showed Gus being led away in handcuffs, still protesting his innocence. His law license had been revoked that morning. The trustees want you to manage the children's accounts, Thea continued. After what you did to protect them, they trust you. Aunt Jolie, Emma was creating her own password. Can we make it super strong so no one can ever take my money? I helped her add extra characters, thinking how different this was from my own childhood lessons about appearance and status. My office phone rang. Another potential client, referred by the SEC. Turns out exposing your own family's fraud makes you very credible in financial security circles. We should go. Thea stood up. Emma has ballet, but maybe we could do dinner sometime? Actually talk? I'd like that. As they left, Emma ran back to hug me. Thanks for saving my money, Aunt Jolie. I watched them drive away, then turned back to my laptop. The company website was ready to launch. My binary tattoo caught the sunlight as I typed the final command. A new text arrived from Hope. First client meeting in an hour. Ready to save another family from themselves? I looked at my niece's carefully created password, at the article about the verdicts, at the growing list of clients who wanted to prevent what my family had done. Ready, I typed back. Truth is always ready. I pressed enter. The website went live, its mission statement clear against the clean background, because every legacy should be built on truth. My phone buzzed one last time. A simple message from Thea. Thank you for giving Emma a better future than our past. I smiled and started preparing for my first client. Sometimes destroying everything is the only way to build something real. Sometimes the truth sets everyone free,